Okay, welcome to the word search for today, the Words and Number Games channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see further word search videos like this, and appreciate a like if you do enjoy these sort of videos. This one today is word search regarding get the job, so it's all hidden words relating to job interviews. I think we've all probably been in a few job interviews in our time. So we'll start off down the left hand column. We'll work in order, and I'll let you know just before I mark them up, so that if you want to pause the video if you haven't yet found the word. So we'll start off with the first one, body language, and a lot of people hold a lot of weight on body language in an interview. I've done a few in my time, and I think probably one of the best recruits I ever made was a guy that couldn't even look me in the eye or face me, but he certainly turned out to be the best that I had recruited ever, I suppose. So I found that one on the chart now. It's a reverse one, so I'll mark that one up on the grid. There we go, body language. Next one up is candidate. So I'm looking probably for letters DID to help me find this one, or you can concentrate just on the first 2 or 3 letters CAN, but I think DID is what I'll be looking for. Okay, I found this one. It's a reverse diagonal. These aren't always the easiest ones to find. It's a candidate. There we go. Next one up is chair. On that, see if we can find this one. I'd probably look for the CH on this. Don't look to be too many H's on the grid, so find a C and a H, and we should be there or thereabouts. And yes, I found that one, so I'll mark that one up now. If you want to pause the video. There we go, that's chair. Next one, do's and don'ts. Cool, the list must be endless for videos, but I certainly aren't going to go through them here. Do's and don'ts. So looking for some DOs. If we can find DO, we might stand a chance on this one. Okay, and I've spotted this one. It's quite a long one, but it starts at the top, so I'm just going to mark this one up. Do's and don'ts, coming all the way down on a diagonal there. It's quite nice that one of the early DOs I looked at towards the top line was the one. Next on to eye contact. Like I said, my best recruit that I ever interviewed for a job couldn't even maintain eye contact, but there was something about him that I liked, and he turned out to be probably the best employee I've ever recruited. So eye contact, looking for probably an EY is as good a one to look at here, and it's jumped straight out at me actually as this one, so I'll mark this one up on the grid now. Eye contact there, coming down the right hand side, and those tend to be fairly easy to spot where they're coming downwards. Next one up is feedback. I know any job interviews I've ever been to in the past, you sort of want the feedback, but once you get the feedback you don't really want it, but there we go. So looking for an FEE is probably as good or anything to start looking for on this one. The other way you could work on this one is looking for the C and the K close together. So looking for the K's and then finding a C. And I spotted this one, mark this one up on the grid now, and it's a reverse diagonal. Not always easy to spot the reverse diagonals. There we go, that's feedback. And then last one on the first line is handshake. Always told, I was always given the advice, always give a firm handshake. You certainly don't want to be giving a loose, wet fish type handshake, but I think you'll always make a good impression with a firm handshake. So again, you could look for the K's on this one, or even a H. Tends to be not as many of those letters, and it should jump out. And yeah, this one has jumped out at me. Again, a reverse diagonal, not always easy. Handshake, there we go. And that's the first line done. We'll swap over onto the pinks now, and we're looking for nerves. Something probably we all expect on an interview. Mind you, saying that I haven't been for an interview for probably 25 years, so I don't anticipate going for any ever again. And this one's again jumped straight out at me, so I'll mark this one on the grid. It's one of those easier ones where it seems to be right in front of your eye coming downwards. So that's nerves. Next one up is panel. And if you're unfortunate enough to sit in a panel interview in front of a panel, I'm sure the nerves certainly kick in. And probably looking for the L on this one, I think, is as good a one as any to look for. And I found this one, and it's coming near the top, a reverse diagonal panel. There we go. Next one up is posture. How you sit in the chair can dictate how somebody might look on you. Certainly you don't want to be slouching. Posture, and this one has jumped pretty much straight out at me again, so I'll mark this one up on the grid now. There we go, that's posture. Next one up, preparation. And they always say probably the most important bit of any interview is the preparation. So we're probably going to look for a P and then an R. So if we look for the P and then look for an R next to it and work from there, I think, on this one. Seem to be lots of P's on this grid. Right, I'm just struggling a bit on this one. Is it going to be one of those reverse diagonals? Right, yes, I've got it. So I'll mark this one up on the grid now. It's a reverse, straight up vertical one. So I'll pop that one in. Next one is punctual. Always to be good to be punctual on an interview. I think if you turn up late, you've pretty much put a nail in the coffin. On this one, I'm probably going to look for the U and the A. So looking for the U and then an A. And I started off at the top of the grid and I found it straight away. So I'll mark this one up. It's actually a reverse one, a reverse horizontal. Oh, I'll mark the Q there. Sorry, it should be from there onwards, punctual. So I'll mark that one on. And the next one is questions. Now, they always say prepare for your interview and have some questions ready. I think the worst thing I ever had when I went for an interview once was I had 2 or 3 questions all prepared up, but unfortunately they were covered in the interview by the time we got to the questions. So I was really rocking my brains of trying to find something to think. So I eventually just said, I'm sorry, I had 2 or 3 questions, but you've virtually covered everything in the interview. Nothing I need to ask. Didn't get the job neither. So questions. So again, Q and the U is probably a couple of good letters to look for there. Not too many Q's on there. Right, I found that one. It's I'll mark this one up on the grid. It's a reverse diagonal. So questions coming up there. There we go. And then we're on to rapport. Always good if you can create a bit of rapport in your interview. And this one has jumped out at me straight away. So I'll mark this one up on the grid now. There we go, rapport coming down at the bottom there. There we go, and we'll move on to the yellow, onto the last list, short list. Something if you want the job, you want to get yourself on the short list. Probably looking. I will probably probably look for the H and the O on this one. See if we can find anything there. Okay, I've got this one. I'll mark this one up on the grid. It's a reverse vertical one. There we go, shortlist. Then on to Skype. I've never done a video interview, a Skype interview or a Zoom interview. I'll be looking for the K and the Y on this one. This should jump out fairly easily with a K and a Y. And I think probably a lot of interviews over the last couple of years with what's been going on in the world have been done by Skype or some type of video interview. And there we go, I've spotted this one, so I'll mark this one up on the grid now. And that's on the bottom there. Next one up is Smart. I'm probably going to look just straightforward for the S and an M here, so I'll look for the M and look for the S around it, I think is probably how I'll look on this one. And this one's jumped pretty much straight out at me. It's strange how some of them seem to stare you in the face straight away and others just don't seem to appear, but I'll mark this one up on the grid now. There we go, that's Smart. Then we're on to Technique, and quite a long word this one. Probably look for the Q and the U, see if we can find something for that to work off. And, some people work pretty much logically through the grid. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I just work very randomly, and this one's come out at me, so I'll mark this one out now. It's one of the difficult ones, a reverse diagonal. There we go. You start marking it when you think, oh, I hope I have got that right, and yes, I have. Then we've got telephone. Jumped straight out of me, literally the moment I said the word, it literally leaped off the page. So I'll just give a few more seconds, but it's just one of those that jumps straight off at me, and it's mark it up on the grid now. It's right at the top there. Telephone. And then we're going down to the last two now. The next last one is Tess. Can't believe this. This one has jumped straight off the page, and probably has to you as well, because it's. I'll mark this one up now. It's just literally straight below it. Nice easy one, that. And then they're coming up to the last one. Don't forget, if you do want to see further videos on word search and other word games, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate if you enjoy the videos with a like on the video as well. So we're just looking for the last one, tips, and you'd probably look for the T and the I on this, and just look around the T's and then I's, and should fall into place. And spotted this one. So I'll mark this one up on the grid. It's fairly high up on the grid, and I was working logically down on this one. So there we go, tips. So that completes today's word search. Hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, appreciate any likes on the video if you do enjoy them, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.